I just got an email telling me about how one of our small business customers, snowforecast.com, got a valuable link from the BBC website. Using Link Builder, I had a closer look at snowforecast.com, and I saw this wasn't a one-off. There were links from CNN, New York Times, USA Today, National Geographic, and a host of others. All this for a small 4-person business based in Wales. So I asked co-founder Nick Russell to tell me all about it, and he has got some great link building tips to share. Who does Snow Forecast cater for?
I think you could go into any office, certainly in the UK, and there'll be someone in there who's avidly glued to our site throughout the ski season. So that would be the person who's booked a holiday or they're going away next week and they're desperately willing for those icons to change from rain or sun to little snowflakes so that they're going to have some good conditions for their trip. We've also had instances in the past where we've had mountain rescue organisations using our data to help with finding windows of opportunity in bad weather or winter storms to fly in and remove victims or people stranded on a mountainside. And we've had a couple of incidents where we've maybe even saved lives as a result of our content.
Last week I read about your site on the BBC. Could you tell me how that story happened?
We've recently ventured into making mobile apps for our online offering. And we think it's particularly well suited for that because when you're on the road you don't necessarily want to have to boot up a laptop and then find an internet when you can just look at it on your phone. So we've released an iPhone application for Snow Forecast. We've just released a mobile web version which will work on any non-iPhone device. We liaised with the CMAS Research Centre in Pontypridd and they invited us to exhibit at their conference and also give a presentation just to say why we created an app and how it worked.
That story then really happened because you became involved with that organisation.
Yeah, and in Wales we're lucky in having that kind of funded assistance.
One of the things that I think is really exciting about the internet is that it brings small businesses to the attention of reporters and large media in a way that couldn't have happened beforehand. So just by being good at ranking for top keywords, reporters will notice you.
I remember in the early days when we set out, if we wanted press exposure or links, we had to go looking for them, and now it's completely the opposite. We are among the first that appear and they come to us. So as long as we're on top of our help desk and we can respond to them in the time frame they need, then we're pretty much guaranteed some top press exposure.
And I suppose what they want is a quick response.
Yeah, that's the thing. Usually they're working to a deadline of that evening or the next day, and so that's the sort of timescale we have to move in.
And also, being linked to by the BBC or by CNN must give you tremendous kudos as well, and other people are likely to link to you just because of that.
And it becomes self-perpetuating, I think, because obviously if you look for an article on the snow in the UK, you're going to find news articles from the BBC, and then if you're from another media organisation, and you'll see the link to Snow Forecast and you'll follow it, and then they'll be able to benefit from our information as well.
You've been using Link Builder for a while. What have you been looking for from that software, and what benefits has it brought you?
I think that the thing I like particularly is that it sorts the results of link prospect by their value. For example, academic organisations carry a high weight, and as do top-level media organisations. So it's really a way of identifying windows of opportunity in places like that where we don't already have a link, and we can make moves to getting them. One particular example is university ski clubs, because there you get a link on a university website, and that does give us that weight of an academic organisation linking to us. And I think of all the links that we've successfully built as a result of using your tools, that's probably one that stands out.
I asked Nick what else was link-worthy on his site.
We have an embeddable feed, a little widget that people can embed into their website, and that has a strapline on it which links back to snowforecast.com, or specifically the resort page for where the widget will be embedded on a third-party website. So they get the free feed and we get the link back So a lot of ski resorts, ski clubs, they are using that, and we've used Link Builder to identify people that aren't. And it's just a good way of them getting something valuable that they would actually want on their site, and us getting a link back in return.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's great for that is that their readers get tremendous value from your widget as well then.
Yeah, that's right. So they don't have to just think about, oh, well, yeah, we'll give them a link. They're actually saying, well, we're getting this useful weather forecast. And quite often that's been the start of a good relationship. And if it's a ski resort in question, they might actually join our resort manager program and start giving us snow reports back as well.
Okay, and tell me a little bit more about the resort manager program.
You don't have to be an actual manager of a ski resort, but a lot of them are. You could actually have a business like a ski school or a ski hire shop in a resort, which would mean you're based there and you're able to observe the conditions. So you have the ability to make edits to the database for that particular resort on Snow Forecast. If a new lift system is installed, for example, you could tell us about that. You can update the webcams if a cam changes. There's also a console where you can log in every day and submit a snow report. A way of they're giving something to us, so we give them a little bit of extra value in return in that they can make announcements which appear on the resort landing page. So they can have the resort logo and then say, tonight is our opening party for the 2011 season, for example. One of the holy grails, I think, of a site like ours is to generate unique content by having users submitting reviews or photographs with captions, and all of that goes onto our site and just increases our depth and our search engine appeal, I think. Another nice thing is we've got, when I said we've got people submitting reports to the site, we've worked out a way of converting those to a short text string, which can then be updated to Twitter. And that carries a tag unique to that resort. So we're getting information out onto Twitter, but then we also harvest that back onto our own site to present a text string of unique text that's constantly updating and lives on our site as an archive. So we're generating searchable content that way.
I also wanted to know, what advice would Nick give to other website owners?
I think aim for sites to link to you which carry a lot of weight. So if you, depends on your business obviously, but if you are in a position to write regular updates that could appear in the current press as press releases and articles, then get those out there, and that's a very good way of getting a link, especially as sites like the BBC now seem obliged to carry links to external websites for additional information. So that's a very valuable way getting in there. So anything you do which is newsworthy, do a press release and get it out to as many people as possible, and try and get those top level links from media organisations. If you have a website that offers something that you can share, like as we do with our weather content, then try and work out a way of increasing the attractiveness of other websites to link back to you by offering them something in return.
So there you are, one small business that has benefited greatly from Link Builder. You could be doing the same for your website. Find out how with our free 7-day trial today. Who knows, I could be interviewing you in the very near future.